Hello, my name is Gazanfer, and welcome to our new section where we're going to learn about trend analysis. In this lesson, we're going to be introducing ourselves to our trend analysis and what we're going to cover in this whole section. So let's get right through. Trend analysis is a very important topic as many businesses use our trend analysis for knowing the ups and downs in our data and looking at, well, basically our trends. So when let's look at our first bullet where we're going to learn about line graphs and trends. We're going to learn about basic features, our statistics that relate to our line and how we're going to color basically our things under the line or above the line. It's basically related to that. Then we have the area graph where we're going to learn about how a certain area is or magnitude is important in our trends and basically how we're going to stack the area. So that's where we're going to learn as well. Then there's another important feature that we're going to learn. It's a new feature in our Microsoft Power BI desktop. It's the ribbon graph. We're going to learn about it in this section. So I hope you're ready for our next lesson and see you in the next lesson, I guess. Hello, my name is Gazanfer and welcome back to this section of our trend analysis. In this lesson, we're going to look at our line graph. We're going to cover how the line graph works. We're going to discover our line graph formatting. We're going to discover the analytics pane in our line graph. We're going to get to know about what data we use in our line graphs. And basically, yes, we're going to learn how the line graph is made, of course. So let's get to it. Let's go to our Microsoft Power BI desktop. And over here, as you can see, we have a lot of visualizations under our visualization tab. Over here, we have our line chart. When you click on the line chart, you get, of course, a line chart, a line graph basically, which you can use in your, of course, visualizations. So let's get to it. Let's maybe use our order date because since it is a visualization of line graph, we need to use the date, of course, because we're going to be comparing the dates. Then let's use profit by the date. So as you can see, when you drag both of them here, it creates a trend. We have 4 trends over here and we have a lot of options available to us in our axis. We have the option for year, we have the option for quarter, we have the option for month, we have the option for days. We have all these options. We can currently, we're in profit by day, we can move down to profit by quarter. We can move down to profit by month, and we can maybe work our way through to profit by day, which is another very important thing that we can look through. So let's just go to our top. We have our profit by year, and when we click on our order date over here, we have the option for the date hierarchy where you can just look on our date hierarchies and move up and down using the drill down features. But you can also have the option of the order date, and when you select that option, you have these scribbly lines and a line for each, data set. So the data set for January 2012, and then you have all of these 2014, 2012, and it's pretty easy. So like Friday, August 1, 2014, you have June 14, you have Sunday. So these are a scribbly way of viewing your rough data and the pattern, comparing it. Over here, we can see that on Sunday, November 25th, 2012, we have had our highest profit ever in the history of all profits. So that's basically what we learned in our line graphs, the comparison and everything. So let's go back to our date hierarchy, and if you switch on the drill down feature, you can click on a certain year, you can click on a month, and you can work your way back. So let's just go back and go back to profit by year, but when you click on it, it goes to profit by year and quarter, if and then it goes back to month, then it goes back to days. So that's how your drill down feature works. So here you have the main options as usual. Let's go to our formatting options. They're pretty similar. They're pretty easy to understand. Here we have our x-axis and the values. We have our y-axis and the values. Here later on we have the data colors. We have the data labels. Maybe we want our data colors to be black. Maybe we want our that to work this way. Another important feature that we need to study is the data labels. Of course, when we switch on the data labels, you can choose which color you want, and let's just choose maybe this blue. And here as you can see, the data labels for each trough, or let's say crest, it pops up, and you can display units in thousands, millions. Let's just select auto as a feature, and you can position them under or above the data. You can position them under. Let's select auto. You can increase your text size. Maybe I want it big. So let's just go over here and maybe move down the hierarchy all the way. Let's move to months. So when we come back over here to our data labels, we have the option of using this. You can use the font family, you can change it the way you want to. So that's basically how your data labels work. And basically, you understand which points have which data. So you can see the profit in December we had 2.33, and all this is labeled now. Then you have the plot area option, you have your shapes option, you have your title, you have all these options available, including your data labels. Let's just close all of that because it's something we already know. The lock aspect, the border, the tooltip, they're all on, and basically you know how all of it works. Then we go to our analytics pane, of course, and over here you have the option for the constant line available over here as well, and you have the option of using the constant line over here. You can close it. You have the option for using minimum line. You can add the minimum line. You can add a maximum line to maybe work around with your line graphs. Maybe you want to do, you can add this average line so it visualizes your data in a better way. As you can see, it's pretty nice to look at. And then you have the median line, you can add that as well. You can add your percentiles accordingly as well, but let's not add that right now. Let's look through with these options, and as you can see, the filters are available over here as well. So you've learned how to use the data labels up till now, and you can of course work around with your title as well. Maybe you want the title to be aligned in the middle and the title to be increased in size. So basically that is our line graph and how the line graph works. I hope you've understood how to use line graph, and I hope to see you in the next lesson as well. Hello, my name is Kazanfer, and welcome back to this section of our trend analysis. In this lesson, we're going to learn about our area graphs. So Basically, area graphs are just like our line graph, but the area under them are shaded. And we're gonna, recap some other features about our line graph in this segment and also learn new features about our area graphs. So let's get to it. Let's go to our Microsoft Power BI desktop, and here we have of course, we have our line graph. So let's maybe drill down to month. And other options we have is that we can add channels. So in this way, you can have multi-sets of data inside your line graph, of course, using the legend. And if you go to your order date, you also have the option of changing the label density. Maybe you want the labels less, or maybe you want the labels more. So you can choose that according to your density. And you can also choose another thing called the trend line, which you can add. And it can be based on, it can be dotted or solid or whatever you like. And this is the trend line, of course, that you have. And it right now it's working its way over here, the trend line, the black one. You can maybe use your black or whatever thing you want. So let's just close that for now, and let's just close our channels for now. And here we have our normal set of data. So if we go back to our hierarchy, it goes back to the less scrambled stuff, and maybe that's what we like for now. So let's get right to it. Let's get to profit by month, and let's look at our area graph. When you go to our area graph, what happens is that the part underneath is shaded, which of course comes in handy a lot of times. It has the same features as your line graph. It has the general features. It has the x-axis. You can use, of course, your constant line, your maximum line, and if you choose your data to be like this. So you also have the option for the trend line, which you can add. So that's another thing that you can add. You can add your trend line. Right now it's not visible. Maybe I want it white. So as you can see, this white trend line in the black area shows us what happens. But to be honest, I prefer it to be in a hierarchy level right now. So let's just go down there, make it to a month, and maybe that's what we like. And let's close our lines for now, the maximum line and maybe even the average line and the median line. So we've closed all of that, and we've learned that the area graph is basically as simple as it suggests. The area under the line is shaded. Another option that we have is the stacked area chart. So when we add channels to our legend, what happens is that, let's add it. What happens is that it becomes all jumbled and weird. So maybe we want to focus it in a more organized way. So we go to the stacked area chart, and what happens is that it stacks over one another, just like our bar graphs and our column charts as we saw. So it's pretty simple to categorize these in a very easy way. And as you can see, it's pretty simple how you can, maybe I want to shade this part. Maybe I want to shade the online part. Maybe I want to shade this part. So the trend analysis is very simple to understand in our area graph, and it's a very useful visualization method according to your requirements, of course. So I hope you've understood this lesson, and I hope to see you in the next lesson as well. Hello, my name is Gazanfer, and welcome back to our section of trend analysis. We've learned different types of trend analysis graphs up till now, and we're moving on to one more trend analysis type of graph, which is called the ribbon graph. Now, the ribbon graph at first might seem not different from our column visualization, but later we realize how the legend changes all of that. So basically we learn in this lesson how the ribbon graph is used to compare our trends and compare our statistics in our hierarchies and other ways. So let's get right to it. Let's go to our Microsoft Power Desktop, and here we have our area graph. Let's delete that. After deleting that, over here we notice that after all of this we have the ribbon chart. So what we're going to do is take the ribbon chart, and as you can see, you get an idea of how this works just by looking at the demograph over here. So let's maybe bring our order date to our axis and our sales. How about sales? Where are, yeah, over here. That's where our sales is. And in the start, it doesn't look much of different from our column visualization, which is okay, but you'll realize that what makes the ribbon graph different is its legend. So let's add product category to the legend, and as you can see, it completely changes when you add a legend. It makes a sort of trend analysis in which there are different colors, it's squishy, it's different, but it looks good. So over here, you can see that if you select audio, your audio comes up. If you select camera, if you select cell phones, you can select computer. You can move around with whatever you like and see what works with you. So you have different settings in this, and you have different ways you can categorize this. But basic theme and the meaning for the ribbon graph is to compare. As you can see in your statistics, the computer sales, the rank is 1, and in the next set of time it's the cameras, then it's again the computers. So basically this is to compare rankings. So over here I can see which one is small, which one is big. It's all on the ranking basically. So let's go to our format options. Oh yes, of course we have the different order date option over here as well, which you can explore accordingly. It looks very rashy. I wouldn't suggest it though. So let's go back to our date hierarchy. So over here we have the option for, oh, let's go down our hierarchies. Yes, let's go over there. Okay. So over here we have our general and our other options that we did have in our previous area graphs as well. But when you go to the data labels and you switch them on, you have options for the orientation, vertical or horizontal orientation. You can work around with the label density as well. You can increase it, you can decrease it, you can increase the text size of the label density, you can decrease the text size. Increasing it, of course, makes it more visible to see, but I prefer less label density, maybe about there. That works. So another option that we're going to be looking at is our x-axis option. You have the type for continuous, you have the categorical option, you have the option to for the labels, concatenate the labels, or you can switch it on, you can switch it off. So if you switch it on, of course it changes, and if you switch it off, it changes as well. But it doesn't make a big difference, of course, and you can go back to your continuous as well and work around with your data. Maybe you want it as a log rather than linear. I prefer linear, to be honest. And you can work with your data labels. Let's switch them off right now. And let's look around with the data colors. You can change them as well. You also have the option for ribbons, and you have the option to space them, so you can space the ribbons far from each other if you want, but I prefer not to. And you can increase the transparency according to your will, but That makes it more transparent, as you can see. And if you decrease it, it makes it less transparent. So let's just make it back to 30, which is the default. And that works for us. You also have the title and all the other options as usual, which I'm not going to repeat, but because we've already learned them, but this is basically all our formatting options. The analytics feature, however, did not come over here because that isn't available in the ribbon graph. It's only available in the area graph and the other set of graphs that we learned before. So that's all for our ribbon graph up till now. I hope you've learned a lot in this lesson, and I hope to see you in the next lesson as well. Hello, my name is Kazanfer, and we've finally come to the conclusion to our trend analysis section. As we've seen, we're on lesson 7.6, which is the last lesson, and we've learned a lot of things in this section. We've learned how trend analysis works, how we can compare data, and we've learned different types of graphs like the line graphs, the area graphs, the ribbon graphs. And we've learned how each of them are useful in their own ways to compare data. We've learned how the line graph is very easy to use and you can use the trends, and in the area graphs how the area under it is shaded, and in the ribbon graph we've also learned how you can compare the rankings of your trends basically. So I hope you've learned a lot in this section, and let's see you in the next section as well.